great bio, and we're gonna have Mike come up and fill us in on where he's at with the race. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Cini. Some of you know me, some of you don't. So I'm going to go briefly over some of my bio and some of the points that I wanted to get out while I had a room of such esteemed people. I mean, I am coming from Rensselaer County, and as Steve just said, it is something unique when you've made a mark on a federal level. I am absolutely proud to live in Rensselaer County. I've said it anywhere I can to anyone that will listen, that this area stands out at such a degree that we're recognized as that area that supports law enforcement. Our top three here have no problem standing up to anybody, so it's something I'm very proud of. But I grew up here in East Greenbush and Skodak, really a blue-collar family, mostly out of the city of Rensselaer. I know Mike Stammel very well, that's because he deals with my family on a regular basis from both sides. Coming from there, I ended up going to Columbia High School. It was really the change in my life, and what set my trajectory was 9/11. Just like most people my age at 34, I was in 10th grade when the planes hit. I remember it vividly at Columbia, and it was a change in trajectory at that point. I always knew I wanted to serve, and I knew I could do more for the area. I enlisted in the Marine Corps Infantry, ended up serving 3 tours overseas as a combat infantry sergeant. Something I'm very proud of to this day. But after completing my time in the Marine Corps, I knew that I had more to give. I came back home, I wanted to attend college, so I went to Hudson Valley Community College, started my degree in criminal justice, as well as joining the Army National Guard as an infantry sergeant once again. It was during this time that I ended up switching over and working for Amtrak right in the city of Rensselaer, a job that I hold to the highest esteem as well as the classic American work. I walked the railroad. I've been on the ground doing these jobs my entire life. I understand what it's like to really get busy with my hands. It's through that time that ultimately I ended up meeting the love of my life, Stephanie, and some of you guys are aware of that, but it's part of the story, so it has to be included and always will be for me. We met, and within a small amount of time, we both bounced off each other and just climbed the ladders of success. Within a few months of meeting Stephanie, I was a commissioned officer in the Air Force. I currently hold the rank of captain on the Air Base as a logistics officer. But during this time, I also became a police officer for the Rensselaer County Sheriffs, ended up making it on the SWAT team, and have done hundreds of high-risk search warrants, so I've been on the ground there as well. Stephanie became a highly awarded airman for the 109th Airlift Wing, as well as a New York State Trooper. So the question says, where does this come into play? Well, my wife became sick, and within 8 months, she succumbed to a rare, aggressive form of cancer. We spent 1 year living in every hospital floor from here to New York City. It was a difficult time in my life, but I'll tell you that during that time, I was always aware of politics, but I watched Paul Tonko effectively vote against me again, and he votes against everybody. He's the most vacant vessel of a man and the epitome of why term limits are going to be critical to the future of this nation in my assessment. But Paul Tonko on one specific day voted against the right to try experimental medication, and it was on that day that I decided that I was never going to stop until he's removed from office, and I swear by that to this day right now. At that point, he said that you could have late-term abortions, that's fine, you agree with that. He said that you can effectively try any drug you want because it's your body, but when it became time for my wife to try something other than just rolling over and dying, he said no. And it was the most political act any human being has ever done because it was just to vote against President Trump. I find that despicable, and at that point, he had chosen to put politics over people, and that's somebody that should not be in office. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, and everyone that knows me knows that I am more of a moderate, that I will call out anybody that I see willing to do that and sacrifice human life in that sense. My wife died in my arms. I never will forget it. I felt the last heartbeat on the left side of my temple, and it wakes me up every day with fire in me. So as I stand here, I'll say that, my Liz Joy, she's a great woman, and effectively, she shares the same goal of removing Paul Tonko from office. We have that in common. We have a lot in common, actually, and I respect her greatly and her family. I will say that I don't believe anybody in this room has more disdain for that man than me, and I hope that none of you ever do. But going forward, I am a team player, and I've always done work to serve my community, whether it was in the military in those 3 branches or locally around here as a sheriff's department deputy. I look to serve this area. I'm younger, and I'm looking to have a future where I can effectively serve at the highest level. In this case, in being a logistics officer, I have assessed my own candidacy, and I've come up short on some of my fundraising goals. So I wanted to come out here because I will never turn down an opportunity to speak to such a room of people. But in that sense, in a short amount of time, we raised almost $50,000, and it was with working class people in very small amounts of donations. A lot of people, small amounts. And as much as that is great, I ultimately want to see Paul Tonko removed from office, and at